The BBB, the Big Beautiful Bill, a United States national debt parade funded by the tax dollars of you and I. I encourage you all to check out Legia Miller's video here to flesh out the details. The House and the Senate are still negotiating, but one thing that we do know is that it's about to get much worse. All presidents just gave himself the ability to turn on the printer again. The technical term for this is currency debasement, and he's going all in. And if you've glanced at a news source within the last 3 to 6 months, you've seen that 45 continues to pressure, bully, and bewilder the one person standing between him and the button.
Trump continues to ramp up the pressure on Fed Chair Powell to step down and make way for someone who will finally lower interest rates. Hassett says the White House is looking into their authority to do that. Okay.
I'll ask you a question about Jerome Powell as well, and then a question to the Attorney General. Jerome Powell, and then I have a question for the Attorney General. Jerome Powell, who you've been pressuring to lower interest rates, he's facing accusations of lying to Congress, which is a potential crime about the
Well, then he should resign immediately. We should get somebody in there that's going to lower interest rates. Why don't you go for his resignation?
Do you want congressional Republicans to investigate and pursue?
It's okay with me. I think he's terrible. I think, look, we're paying, I call him too late. T-O-O, too late, like Too Tall Jones for the Dallas Cowboys, right? Too late. He's always late. But he wasn't late with Biden before the election. He was cutting him like crazy. It didn't help too much, did it?
Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve, seems to be the only thing standing in Trump's way. But it's clear what his intentions are. He's going to turn that money printer back on if it takes him hell and high water. That means your rent climbs, your grocery bill continues to get more expensive, your savings continue to vanish in slow motion, 45 will cut interest rates, the powers that be will pay themselves again as traditional finance does what it does. But here's the thing, millennials. We aren't just spectators on the sidelines. Time for you to wake the fuck up, baby. Wake up. It's not 1997. It's not 2007. You were not late for algebra. You're late on the rent. If we can be, the powers that destroy casual dining, fashion, beer, cereal, razors, mayonnaise, home ownership, gold, toy stores, jewelry stores, and luxury brands, think about what we could do if we actually decided to make decisions and act purposefully. Of course, we know this to be true, but according to the Pew Research Center, millennials, we're the most educated generation in United States history. Think about it. We've always been at the forefront of the digital revolution. We set the digital age off. We made social media popular. We made YouTube popular. We made MySpace popular. We're the most digitally connected generation ever. We've experienced and lived through the balance between living real life and touching grass and establishing and building a digital life. We are the perfect generation to set this off right. Millennials, baby girl, we have a choice. Do we keep worshiping the relics of yesterday, or do we stay true to our roots and front-run the narrative? A code-based currency that can't be printed into oblivion. A monetary philosophy that directly addresses many of the glaring issues with our monetary system. Well... Bitcoin's distribution model is more like a public lottery than an IPO for insiders. There are 3 rules.
Bitcoin, founded by Satoshi Nakamoto, help us Satoshi, you're our only hope, is a deflationary option, meaning that just like a Jedi in training, it gets more valuable over time. Now, even though this is helping us to get back to a more peer-to-peer economy, which is how it all started when we didn't need all these middlemen and banks to transact, it is honestly still a big paradigm shift from what most people are used to right now. You must unlearn what you have learned. Aside from being deflationary, with Bitcoin, your money can also never be controlled by the empire. You have the ability to hold full control and custody of your funds because only you have access to your private keys. The keys will be with you always. So do you have to buy a whole Bitcoin? I mean, those things are getting kind of expensive right now, right, Wookie? Kind of like a dollar can be broken down into smaller denominations like a quarter, dime, nickel, or penny, Bitcoin can also be broken down into something called Satoshis. So you could really even buy $5 of Bitcoin if you wanted. All I'm saying is that I wouldn't put all my money in the Death Star. We know how that story ends.
Off rip, Bitcoin tackles 3 of the most egregious issues with fiat. All right, you made it to the last section. Do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance, do a little dance. You made it to the last section. Thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble about a topic that I've actually grown quite passionate about. When I started this experiment, I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know what to expect, and this has actually been very intriguing, very fun, very experiential in a way that I feel has really changed me. It has opened up the door to a whole bunch of stuff that I never thought that I would be interested in. I've been quietly exploring this since November 2024, and I think it's against my better judgment to tell you how much BTC I've accumulated, but I will say I started accumulating just before Bitcoin hit 100K, and today, July 12th, 2025, Bitcoin's price is hovering around 117K, which has increased my investment about 17%. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I invite you, shoot the J. What if everything works out? What if we're just early guests to the most vibrant dinner party of this lifetime? That 100 USD that you invested in Bitcoin today will be worth twice as much 10 years from now. And that's by most conservative estimates from haters of Bitcoin. Consider how quickly that jumped from busting our asses to get home to watch TRL to stressing over the realities of adulthood. This next decade is going to happen much quicker. Don't let the powers that be buy up your share before you make a decision. We've seen this time and time again. Trailblazers, builders, innovators, catalyzers, big brains, nerds, they innovate, they create something new. Industry rushes in to appropriate, to copy, to pilfer. Please do not let the powers that be buy up your share before you make a decision. Bitcoin is finite. There is no more. Every time somebody buys, it takes away the chance of someone else to do so. We are the new 49ers, and there's gold to still mine. Wake the fuck up. As someone who's always been different, I know how being the first or only can feel. What it's like to have to manage the emotional labor, the realities and expectations of experiencing life uniquely. But in the times that I have been right about standing my ground, holding my opinions close to my heart, managing the discomfort of riding my own wave, I've never been disappointed. And it's yielded nothing but excitement, growth, discovery, and newness. Perhaps you'll join me a decade from now, in 2035. I'm in my mid to late 40s. We're moisturized, hydrated, cozy, and 100% ready to cash in for our tickets for the
Wall Street is moving in fast, and they are bringing their retirement accounts with them. ETFs turn stocks into the default for retirement assets, and now crypto is walking in that same exact path. Asset managers like BlackRock, Fidelity, and ARK have been filing for crypto ETFs left and right. This is not about hype. This is about putting the future of the financial system into 401ks, IRAs, and into pension funds. This is not just another bull cycle. This is the complete reworking of the entire global financial system taking place right now. You have sovereign wealth funds, central banks, and asset managers developing solutions on chain. If you do not want to mess this up, here's my advice. Do not think in quarters or days or even years. Think in decades. If you aren't super familiar with the space, then I do recommend working with the regulated players to get involved. You have a couple ETFs that are out now for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few other tokens, and a lot more that are on the way. But at the same time, if you don't have any exposure, I don't recommend waiting for all of these laws to be passed and for all of this infrastructure to be in place, because by then, it might be too late. Follow the policy and the institutional positioning. This is no longer about the price charts. We're moving into a completely different era. Crypto just went mainstream, and I feel like no one's even looking.
Renaissance, Renaissance, Renaissance.